Okay, Injustice 2, developed by NetherRealm Studios. I thought the game was okay, nothing I was overly excited about. The storyline was interesting, but fell flat towards the climax. The one thing that stood out to me were the graphics. Great work to NetherRealm on that. Injustice 2 is a multiplayer game, though you will only be playing by yourself against other people. There is no VR requirements. The ESRB rating for Injustice 2 is 13 and older. I tend to agree with that only for the sexually suggestive design with one or two characters. Had those been toned down to reflect the rest of the character designs in the game, I would say that this is actually fine for ages 9 and older. Violence is a theme, but it is nowhere near as gruesome or gory as some other fighting games. The storyline is about superheroes and what is morally right versus wrong. Without spoiling the story, it is more complicated than a usual superhero movie, but I personally find it appropriate for preteens. Violence through bullying and making moral decisions are likely to happen for children in this age group. But again, the sexually suggestive design of one or two characters is not likely to happen in reality compared with the way it is portrayed in this game, nor should it be expected or encouraged to be introduced to preteens. In my opinion, I can see an argument where the designs are reflective of that specific character's story arc, but that is simply too complex for those below 13 to really start comprehending and understand, nor is that backstory even given in the game to begin with. I know NetherRealm aimed to have this fighting game more kid-friendly compared to other fighting games that they have released, and in the future, I hope that they take these considerations to heart if they wish to make games suitable for younger audiences. Injustice 2 generally takes 2 to 3 hours to beat, but to earn 100%, it's realistically going to take at least 84 hours. But times can dramatically, and I mean dramatically, vary based on a number of factors. There are no cheats or hints to assist you, but you can essentially purchase one of the most time-consuming trophies, and you could boost a few hard ones with other players. And another one that could really take up your time can really just be earned by luck. So it varies greatly. On a scale easy to expert, I would rate Injustice 2's trophy list as medium if you're boosting it, and hard if you're not boosting it. Keep in mind that because this is a multiplayer game, as time goes on, the difficulty will only increase as less people play. In my opinion, Injustice 2 really helps improve mental reflex and endurance, and also memory function. However, depending on your method of reaching 100% and really having luck, this game may not help improve mental endurance at all. For mental reflex and memory function, there is really no better trophy to highlight this than Winning is Fun, which requires you to win 10 ranked matches. It sounds easy enough, and generally would have been when the game first came out in 2017, but as of this review in 2020, it's harder than it would be and will only get harder as less people play. For starters, there is no tier system in this game, meaning you can match up against the best player in the world on your very first ranked match. Second, each match is a best of 5 series, with each battle within the series being a best of 3 rounds. So in reality, you have to win at least 60 rounds to get this trophy. For the most part, no one character is superior over another, so generally you just need to focus and perfect your character of choice, adapt to each opponent as you play them, and go from there. You will find people you can easily beat, though that will be rare to do now. There will also be those you are evenly matched, and more likely there are going to be those that are just way better than you. You just got to keep it in mind and just keep at it and improve. You can't expect to just walk in and everything be handed to you, or that it'll be easy to learn. And this is very reflective of the real world and how to approach challenges. And just to be very clear, I'm talking about challenges faced in school, if you're a kid, and work, if you're an adult, or, both. And not necessarily am I talking about physically fighting with other people, unless that is your profession, or, you find yourself defending yourself or others. Ultimately, we don't get to switch bodies, and we all have strengths and weaknesses when it comes to a variety of different challenges that we face. It can really be anything from something like a problem on a test to how fast you can run a mile, to really just being able to focus and have the energy to get through the day. Those challenges are your opponent, and the more you take the time to realize your abilities and how to utilize your strengths and minimize your weaknesses against any challenge, you'll be better for it. You may lose a lot at first, but as time goes on and you tweak your strategy, you hone in on your abilities, you self-realize what you can do, you improve on it, you'll find you can and sometimes will succeed. At worst, you'll find yourself better than where you were before. And I find that a very critical, teachable moment to learn. Knowing yourself and how you can better yourself to overcome a challenge is very crucial. And it's equally important to know that there are always going to be situations where you are better, that you're equally as good, and that you are worse at doing, or really better or worse or equally with others. It doesn't make your value any worse or better off. It just makes you more self-aware of your capabilities and how to go about achieving your goals. I do want to take a moment to recognize the trophy Catfight, which is winning a match as Catwoman against Cheetah, with the final hit coming from Catwoman's ability called Catcall. Now, this sounds easy on paper, and it very well can be if you're lucky. But if you're not lucky, it can be extremely long and just an enduring challenge. For me, it was the latter. What makes this trophy very unique is that Catcall is an ability that can only be learned two ways: randomly rewarded, or an incredibly long grind that includes at least 50 hours of playtime to unlock. And that's just using Catwoman only. So needless to say, by the time I unlocked this ability, I statistically should have unlocked it as a random reward. In fact, by the time I unlocked it, I had unlocked all other Catwoman abilities. So it was, I found myself extremely unfortunate. The amount of time I dedicated to get this one trophy was so enduring that it actually and admittedly negatively impacted my daily routine. For me, this trophy just reminds me of what not to do if I ever find myself in this same situation down the road. And this in itself is by far, in my opinion, the biggest teachable moment for anyone. When luck is not on your side and you have to earn something the quote-unquote hard way, it can be very taxing, and for the most part, the reward is rarely worth the sacrifice. And that is the key. The reward is rarely worth the sacrifice. You will almost never find an easier, less harmful way of teaching this lesson than through a video game. And for that alone, I believe this game is worth playing. I do think different trophies could have been added to help improve mental fitness. In fact, I believe NetherRealms dropped the ball here with that. There are 38 character-specific trophies to win under certain conditions, with 37 of those characters that could just be done at any time. It's only the Catwoman trophy that I just talked about that requires using a specific ability that must first be obtained separately. I really feel that at least half of the characters should have had these requirements. The reason for that is also to teach that sometimes you get lucky and you get things faster than having to have earned it. Other times you don't. By only having one trophy like this, it really skews the experience, and it is going to be hit and miss with each player. So it doesn't really help teach these lessons that I'm going over or help maximize someone's experience to improve mental fitness through Injustice 2. I mean, I'm thankful that I had it to go the hard way to help talk about it. And the footage is out there if people just wanted to watch, like, oh my gosh, like, how long was it? And it's just so ridiculous, it couldn't have possibly been worth it. I mean, it wasn't in the context of just playing the game, but it is incredibly valuable, in terms of how to apply it in real life. So hopefully NetherRealms keeps that in mind for future installments, if any. Overall, I thought Injustice 2 was a different kind of experience, to say the least, and at the end of the day, the difficulty of its trophy list is at least a medium and will only get harder as time goes on. I highly recommend it if you're looking to build mental reflex and endurance, as well as memory function. For me, Injustice 2 really helped me build mental endurance, or actually what not to do. And if you have any questions about the game or mental fitness, or just want to share your experience with Injustice 2, feel free to leave a comment or message me. I will do my best to answer any questions in a reasonable time. Alright, another review in the bag. If you want to watch me play live, follow me on Twitch. If you'd like to hear more about mental fitness or game previews and initial impressions, then check out my Instagram. I also take polls on Twitter for games that I should be playing next in my library if you're interested in that. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.